First encounter with the Rebbe's Torah. Okay, I didn't see that question coming. Before I encountered the Rebbe's Torah, I encountered the Rebbe himself. And I don't mean personally, I never had the privilege of actually having a Chiddushim or even being online for dollars. But I mean, like the whole world, being a beneficiary and an admirer of all that Chabad is. Who is this man and what is his Torah? Where is he deriving this from? What is the engine that is leading to his having this army that is revolutionizing and changing the world in an extraordinary way? And that was my entree into the Rebbe's SICHAH.
Let's talk about the structure of a Farbrengen. And I think that will really give us a picture of what we call a SICHAH. The Rebbe would come down, they'd usually sing a song, and then the Rebbe would begin what we call a SICHAH. A SICHAH literally means a talk.
He would discuss many subjects, all kinds of subjects, things which would go deeper into the Talmudic discussions. We would talk things of Kabbalah, talk things of Chassidus.
Rabbi Hirschsprung, the famous Baki B'Shas, and the rabbi of Montreal, the famous rabbi, would often come to Farbrengens. You could just see his excitement. It was palpable. He was literally like bubbling.
You know, there are some people who are very great in Nigla. Some people very great in Kabbalah. The Rebbe, not only was he great in both, and his Sichos are both, but he shows how they're all one. They're all intermingled, they're all together. The Rebbe connects a Rasha with Chassidus. Pshat, which is simple Pshat, Chassidus. Gemara with Chassidus.
They would then sing, the Chassidim would sing another song. People would say L'chaim during the song to the Rebbe would acknowledge L'chaim L'vracha. And then would begin, after a song that would, let's say, last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the Rebbe would begin a second talk. Would go a half hour, sometimes 40 minutes. There were talks, sichas, that would last an hour.
In Tovshin Chavtes, which is 1969, when they reached the moon the first time,
It's one small step for man.
there was a whole Farbrengen, 2 Farbrengens of what we learned from the rocket that came to the moon. What does that mean? What does it teach us?
The Rebbe's most commonly used expression was Torah Meloshen Hera. Torah is, above all, a blueprint for life, that God, who created existence and created each one of us as human beings, is giving us a blueprint to tell us how best and the healthiest way to live our lives.
The Rebbe gives insight into who we are and what makes us tick, and maybe he's commenting on Psukim, the Torah, or the parsha, but it's taking an ancient text and it's making it relevant to ourselves.
He was able to take the Milson Chaditin Atikin, ancient words, new words. He was able to take the old Torah and to make it so relevant. Here you have a person that was born in another world and came to America at a later part of his life. But it seemed to me that he understood an American boy more than any American Rebbe that I ever had.
We're talking about the late 60s, the early 70s. The Baal Tshuva movement was growing. And obviously a highlight of their being here in Crown Heights was going to the Rebbe's Farbrengens. But not knowing Yiddish or Lashon Kodesh, they had no idea what's going on. They wouldn't follow at all.
There were now hundreds of people, thousands of people, who wanted to see what the Rebbe was saying. They didn't want to hear what somebody else said the Rebbe said. They wanted to hear what the Rebbe was saying.
So it was 20-year-old boys learning in the yeshiva in 770 by the Rebbe. They would translate the general ideas and the flow of the Rebbe's words.
I did the writing. Rav Yonah did all the other work and a lot of the writing also. It became successful enough that we had to, quote, institutionalize it. Sichos in English started in 1978.
So here you have some of the Sichos, some of the Farbrengens that the Rebbe requested the translation, and the Rebbe had the translation edited. As you can see over here, there would be extensive editing on the Sichos. As you have here, almost every line, the Rebbe editing the Sichos in English and changing the wording. Sometimes the Rebbe preferred certain words over others. The last few decades, there has been an explosion of content, Chabad content from the Rebbe's talks. You want to know the Rebbe from the Rebbe's own voice. Likkutei Sichos was the place that the Rebbe saw as his magnum opus.
Likkutei Sichos was what the Rebbe personally edited week after week over the years. We have the unedited, which is the longer versions, but the edited talks have much more precision.
First, we worked on it here and back and forth between ourselves. Then, when we had a finished product from our side, it was typed, double-spaced, and left a lot of space on the sides. And the Rebbe would check it and add, take off or whatever it is, and send it out. And then it was put on, we called it in the printing press, gellies, and was given them to the Rebbe again. And the Rebbe, in the second time, edited the second time. And many times he added more the second time than the first.
The Rebbe was insistent that we challenge him, not just accept whatever he says, that if something was not clear or something seemed to be a contradiction. So we would write to the Rebbe on an ongoing basis, literally daily.
The Rebbe put in many hours every week. It was one time I remember that one of the secretaries of the Rebbe said that this week you should know the Rebbe worked on the SICHAH 10 hours. He walked into the Rebbe when the Rebbe was already finished almost with editing the SICHAH, and the pages were open. The Rebbe closed it and gave it to him, and he said, give it to them, because Ein Ledover Sof means there's no end to it.
It was a very arduous and difficult process because we had to take these brilliant ideas and make sure that what we said was aligned.
First it came out weekly, Kuntres and weekly pamphlets, and then after a while it turned into a sefer. Then more pamphlets came out, turned another sefer. We have 39 volumes just of Likkutei Sichos.
Tell me a little bit about what you're seeing when you're looking at it.
First of all, it's gorgeous. I mean, look at that. You want to open it. This is the Rebbe's Sefer, and we want to keep true to the original. We kept the kind of the font and the look of the original Likkutei Sichos on the right side, and the English was kind of side by side on the left side.
To learn a SICHAH is to go on an adventure, where the Rebbe is able to quote and to take from what seem to be diverse and disparate sources and somehow weave them all together. And the gift of this set, through not only the translation, the elucidation, the footnotes, the introduction, the summaries on the side, is that it puts it all together and it makes it available, accessible to people of different levels of learning.
The truth is, all of Torah is in fact that idea of translation. Taking the spiritual and showing how it's reflected in the material, showing that the material and the spiritual are not two separate realms. It's not only one language, it's one mindset. You're communicating a feeling. You're communicating what the writer's inner soul was trying to say.
Not only the talks themselves, the extensive footnotes, and sometimes just in a few words, in a few small sentences, the Rebbe would allude to great Chiddushim. Those were translated and opened up and explained.
Did things that were not traditional. Blue stamping on the cover, it's eerie, to enhance its appeal and its look and its feel. This is something that, I would love to check out and learn.
I didn't have the privilege of being present. I wasn't in the room when the Rebbe delivered these Sichos. But the way that the Sichos are recorded and the extraordinary work of Rabbi Tauger in making them accessible to the masses by translating them makes a person be transported as if they are in the room.
I want to know what the Rebbe said. I want to see it in the original. And even the translation, even the Sichos that are here, I appreciate the fact that they were brought down in the original Yiddish and translated from the Yiddish to the English. This is how it came from the Rebbe's mouth. This is how it came from the Rebbe's pen.
I promise if you go on this ride and this adventure, by the end of that SICHAH, you'll walk away with insight that doesn't just change what you know, but changes who you are.